Okay, so before we start the class, I will check your attendance first. So when I call your name, please say present, okay?
Miss.
Anissa Putri,
Present, Miss.
Fatih Shifai,
Present, Miss.
Risma,
Present, Miss.
Putri Nabila,
Present, Miss.
Askia Humais,
Present, Miss.
Cut Nisaul,
Present,
Cut Najwa.
Present, Miss.
Alright, I already checked your attendance and everyone is present for today. Okay, class. So today, before we start our class, I will recall our previous lesson. What did we learn last week? Can you mention what did we learn last week?
Protista.
Yeah, excellent. We learned protista last week. What is protista? Can anyone mention what protista is?
Eukaryotic organism, Miss.
Yeah, right, Putri Nabila. So, protista is a eukaryotic organism that already have a true nucleus. So, today we're gonna learn about plain like protists. So, now I want you all to look at this picture carefully. Now, what do you think? What is happening in this water?
It's dirty, Miss. Dirty.
Ocean. And then what else? What do you see? What do you think happening in this water?
Rainwater.
Alright, class. Yeah, you said that it's so green, dirty, or maybe there's a plane inside the water. But actually, this green color in this water caused by a living organism, which we're gonna call it's caused by algae. Algae is not come from plant, not come from animal, but they are part of plain lake protists. So today we're gonna learn about plain lake protists. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to compare the unicellular and multicellular algae and then explain their habitat, identify the asexual and sexual reproduction, and then the last we're gonna learn about classify algae based on their pigments. No.
You're looking at a climate.
Okay, so to understand better, to learn more deeply about algae, I want you all to observe the video. You will observe carefully and watch this video. And in the end of this video, I want you to explain what is algae, how they look, where they live, and what is happening in this water.
Here,
Okay, let's watch.
food, fertilizer, plastic. This green machine can do it all. It sucks CO2 out of the atmosphere and reduces the methane in cow worms. Oh, and you have it to thank for all life on Earth. So, what are you looking at? It's algae, 3.5 billion years old, and we're only just figuring out its potential. It all started long, long ago. The Earth was a hot soup, full of toxic chemicals. No animals, no plants. Blue-green algae, or cyanobacteria, changed all that. Cyanobacteria are what are called microalgae, very small. Macroalgae, on the other hand, is what washes up on the beach and what many call seaweed. Ocean algae absorb 1/4 to 1/3 global CO2 emissions every year. But all algae do this, even if they aren't in the ocean, sequestration. Algae naturally falls to the ocean floor when it dies. There it stores its captured CO2. We can speed up this process. Agricultural emissions could be offset by using 2% of the ocean to farm and sink seaweed. So why don't we even do this already? The most widely farmed macroalgae, kelp, only grows attached to something. Some kelp farms are making headlines for sinking algae, but on a large scale it would require a lot of infrastructure. Here's where sargassum comes in.
If you have a microalgae that can grow everywhere, floating in the ocean like 5,000 miles, that can sequester that carbon with a way higher efficiency than phytoplankton, then you have a winner. And that's sargassum.
It's time to expect more than just seeing sex.
Okay. Okay, class. So what did you observe after you watched this video?
Miss Pierce, I want.
What is it, Nabila?
Sorry, guys. They are look so
we can only see algae with microscope. Okay, now we're gonna discuss about the characteristic of algae. Yeah, now algae are autotrophic organisms, and algae also can be unicellular, also can be multicellular organism, and live in aquatic environment as long there is a sunlight available, because algae need sunlight to photosynthesis. So what does autotrophic mean, class?
They produce
They
their
produce
own
meals. Yeah, that's right. Autotrophic mean that algae need to produce their own food using the photosynthesis. Okay, now we're going to discuss about the cell structure and the pigments. So we already know that algae is eukaryotic organism. What is eukaryotic?
have a nucleus.
Yeah, they already have a true nucleus. And then they also, in the cell structure, they have chloroplast and the cell walls. And with the pigment, algae have a chloroplast and the other pigment like carotene, phycocyanine, phycoerythrin, and carotene. So, okay, class. So I wanna ask, what is chloroplast? What is the function of chloroplast? Yeah, right. Yeah, excellent. Chloroplast need to photosynthesis because chloroplast will capture the sunlight and then convert it into energy and using it for photosynthesis. Okay, now let's move and discuss about the habitat of algae. Algae live in the water, fresh water, marine, and the moist environment. And then the algae, if there is food on the surface, we're gonna call it Houston algae. And if the algae is appear on the surface, we're gonna call it bending algae. Okay, so why the algae need to photosynthesis? Why? Why algae need to photosynthesis, class? Yeah, they need to produce their own food, right? And why do algae really need sunlight? Because yeah, the point is for photosynthesis because sunlight is really important and really essential for photosynthesis. Okay, now let's move to the asexual reproduction. So in sexual reproduction, there is two types. First, sexual and then asexual. So in the asexual reproduction, there is several ways. There is three. First, binary fission, fragmentation, and then vegetative spores. Yeah, right. So, what happened in asexual reproduction? What makes different asexual and sexual reproduction?
Sexual have a gamete to reproduction, and asexual doesn't have.
Yeah, doesn't involve the gamete. So, which reproduction that will produce the concrete producers. Okay, Miss? Yes. So now, can someone conclude our lesson for today? Just give the conclusion. Juni Saul, do you want to give the conclusion for today's lesson?
Our life,
Yes.
is have ecosystem, and we discuss using our food,
What else?
like product, and then yeah, that's
Okay, thank you, Juni Saul. Excellent. Yeah, that is clear and complete answer from Juni Saul. Algae are autotrophic and live in aquatic environment, and then they have a role for ecosystem and our environment. Okay, class. So, what is one new thing you learned today? Yeah, about algae. About algae, yeah, the reproduction, and then yeah, the classification. So we already learned about the characteristic from the first, and then we learned about the habitat, and then two types of reproduction and classification. So I will give the conclusion again that algae is even though algae is the microscopic organism, but they really have a big important in our daily life because they produce the oxygen. They have a role in our primary producer, like they produce their own food. They produce the food source for the others organism, and they really have a big important role in our daily life. Okay, class. So that's all about our lesson for today. So if you have any question, do you get any question?
no,
Okay, thank you. So if you have any question, maybe we can discuss in our next meeting, or maybe we can discuss in our WhatsApp group. Okay? Okay. Okay. First, but before I close the class, I will give the motivation just a little bit. So we need to remember that when we learn biology, we don't memorize it, but we need to understand. We need to understand the life around us, the environment around us, because memorizing is not as important than understanding. So some like you guys, some like algae. Algae is a microscopic organism, but they really have role in our daily life. When we study step by step, learn by a day, that we hope that someday we're gonna be someone that we expected. Okay, so I hope